Hey everybody, it's Chuck Schulte from NLPT. I got my PPP money notice on Friday, and so that's going to be showing up in the bank here in a couple of days. And so I was messing with a little spreadsheet to kind of try and figure out a strategy on who and how to bring people back and if I could afford it. So I made this little spreadsheet. So I just thought I would share it with you. It's really pretty basic. It doesn't take in all the considerations that you might need to, but I just thought I'd share it. So here's how this works. Um, Over here, you've got your list of employees. I've got this out, so I just block this out for now for my employee names in here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go in here and you're going to put in what their gross payment is for each pay period or an average pay period that you would be paying them for. This column here is for any employer costs that you pay for them directly related to payroll. So in this instance, the only thing I really have in here is health insurance benefits, what I have to pay their share for in a single pay period. And then this column here is going to identify whether or not they are actually on the payroll and by how much. So as you can see here, 1 equals 100%. So if they're 100%, then that's what I'm paying them. That's what I'm paying for them. So if you had somebody come in and you only brought them back 3/4 time, it would make that adjustment for you. So you can identify people that are going to be paying or that you're going to be paying. Maybe you're not bringing that person back. So it just takes them out of all the calculations. So you do that. And at the bottom of that, I made it big to hold a bunch of different employees. There it totals up the gross pay. And what you need to do is you need to put in your estimate of what your employer taxes are. I use the estimate of 8%, but go ahead and use whatever you think it does. And then that will ultimately end up calculating what your total pay will be for that particular payroll period. So in this case, it's 29,000 and change. Now, what do you do with that info? You go up here. Here is where you put in the amount that you are going to receive for your PPP loan. What that does is it just breaks it out into 4 equal pay periods over that 8-week course of time. And then it identifies the 75% that you can put towards payroll, 25% that you can then put towards utilities. More of it may go towards payroll and less of it from utilities, but that's just sort of the maximum amount you can spend for utilities. So that tells you what you've got left for payroll. But when you do all this work over here on the left, it shows up over here as those 4 pay periods on that 8-week course. So there's our 29 and change in each of the 4 pay periods. So when you calculate what you're actually going to be spending, it'll do some math up here and it'll tell you what you have left for utilities over that 8-week period. And then just as a little double checking the math, you add those guys back up and you get 126,575. So what it does is it takes this number and breaks it out evenly over 4 pay periods. Now you may have a strategy of not bringing everybody back at once. You figure this out and you can look at what those numbers are for the first pay period. Then you can redo it and you could use that just to sort of calculate what the second pay period does. Like I said, it's really basic. It doesn't maybe include all of the things we got to consider, but at least gives you a ballpark idea of where your money's going and how you might want to spend it and who you might want to bring back. So I hope this helps. I will figure out how to share this spreadsheet with you. If you're good at Google Sheets at all, you ought to be able to take this video and just rebuild it yourself in probably 10 or 15 minutes and maybe even make it more sophisticated than I've got. So I hope this helps in some way and have a great day.